guys, the Brett Cooper show is on. It is live right now. This is her first video ever, her first live on her new channel, Brett Cooper channel. And in the description, it says, should former liberals be welcomed into the conservative movement? ? Let's go and check this live as it is happening. I have no idea what to expect, but I am so freaking excited.
What's up, guys, and welcome to the Brett Cooper Show. I am so happy that you guys found me over here on this new channel. I am so excited to start this new chapter with you guys. We have been hard at work behind the scenes, literally boots on the ground, me and my 80-year-old neighborhood grandpa putting shiplap up on the ceilings to cover up my 90s popcorn ceilings that I thought you guys would not find aesthetically pleasing on a set. We're literally in a room at my house. We put this all together. Anyway,
that
I'm
is so
excited
cute
to bring this new show to you and show you guys what we have been working on. So,
dude, her house studio looks so much better than mine. I have to rebrand. I have to change this, you guys. That is inspiring.
My goal with this new show is to foster understanding, to go deeper and extract substance in the stories and issues that matter most to us, the issues that impact us on a daily personal basis. And I have always said this, but I want to reiterate it, that I do not take for granted the fact that you guys take hours out of your busy lives to watch my videos, and I want to make sure that every single second of that time matters. I want to make sure that every single video I put out leaves you feeling more confident or empowered or smarter or more inquisitive about the world. And so because of that, we are going to be doing less frequent episodes. We're not going to be chasing the news cycle as much. I want to make sure that every single episode is intentional.
Special.
This first season, in my eyes, is all about understanding where we've come from, where we're heading, and trying to fix the obvious disconnect between the generations, between values, and so much more.
I definitely do not mind the fact that she's going to be uploading less frequently and paying more attention to the quality of the stuff that she's making. Also, keep in mind that I don't know how many people are working with her, but I'm sure not the full team and not the whole Daily Wire, the way she had it in the Daily Wire behind her, like a whole studio. So I do think that it's going to be so much harder, and it's fine. Like, we're going to be here, and I'm sure that every episode is going to have its own quality since it's Brett Cooper.
So I hope you are ready for even more hard truths, deeper dives than we have ever gone before, insightful interviews, and of course, lots of laughter and levity, because it would not...
Oh, I do love that the actual first episode, and she made it into episodes, like episode 1, and the title is Let's Talk About Right-Wing Cancel Culture, which is something I really love to talk about, and I really love to talk about it on this channel, precise. My English sucks, by the way.
Be a Brett Cooper production if we were not having fun through it all. But
yeah,
for this
it's
first
all
episode
fun. It's all
of
fun.
season 1 of the Brett Cooper Show, I thought that we could just keep it simple and keep it between us. And I realized I just said keep it simple, but this episode kind of is not simple at all. It actually might get me into trouble. But we do need to talk about how the right runs the risk of literally losing everything that we've worked for if we continue down a path of mimicking the left's toxicity. AKA, we need to talk about right-wing cancel culture.
Okay.
But before we do, and you guys know the drill, make sure that you are subscribed to this new YouTube channel. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and of course, ring that notification
Do not worry
bell
about
to stay
that.
up to date on all new episodes of The Brett Cooper Show. And if you guys want even more content and ad-free episodes, click the link in the description below to check out my new subscriber-only platform. There'll be lots of information below. Would love for you guys to check it out. But we have far more pressing matters to attend to. All right, so I've been thinking about this topic since New Year's Eve, and I've known that I want to cover this on my first episode because it just keeps coming up. And it specifically came up on New Year's Eve after the actress and comedian Whitney Cummings did a set on CNN's New Year's Eve show. And if you missed it, just take a look.
2024 election fried our brains. The Democrats couldn't hold a primary because they were too busy holding a body upright. Kamala was forced on us so hard you'd think she was patented by Pfizer or Moderna, whichever one's, oh God. Andy just gave me a very scary look.
No!
I thought being a mom would mean that less people will want to come see me. I'm now playing, like 3,000 seat theater,
awesome.
which is about the viewership of CNN these days.
I mean, it's so great. Like, this entire set, she is basically shocked they have not cut her off. You can tell that she's uncomfortable. She's like very tentative. She's taking a risk, making all of these jokes that are incredibly honest. They're incredibly genuine and insightful about the state of our world and the state of politics. and people loved it. Like, she went on for like 5 minutes and everybody was, again, literally in shock that she was not cut off. And of course, she immediately went viral on X. Some people had never heard of her before. They were so excited to find, another brave and honest comedian who was willing to push boundaries and make these kinds of very, relevant jokes. But what makes the story interesting is that people turned on her as quickly as they fell for her, because they realized that 5 years ago when COVID was raging, she used to be very pro-vaccine, and that she even had vaccine mandates for some of her live shows during that 2020-2021 period. And you have some tweets here. You can see her talking about the vaccine, saying that, God, we need a vaccine. Can we make a vaccine now? Go, we need a vaccine.
Chop on that vaccine.
Like, she was tweeting about this constantly. And immediately, people on X started calling her out. They were calling her a grifter and a fraud, saying that she was an opportunist, that she was taking advantage of this time in culture when things were shifting to the right to try to make a name for herself. They literally lost their damn minds. And again, this happened in a
how easily you can get canceled.
Matter of hours. I watched her videos go viral. I was like, man, this girl is so cool. I've seen her on TV. And then suddenly everybody hated her. And it makes no sense to me. Like, they were angry that she had not issued a formal apology before getting up and doing a comedy set. Like, they were angry that her track record wasn't perfect. Like, guys, nobody in the world has a perfect track record. And more than
not only that, not everybody shares your opinion 100%. You might agree on some aspects and disagree on others. That is normal. We're all different. We're all individuals with individual minds. I do not understand the hate behind the vaccine, especially in America. Like, I do feel like a lot of Americans connected with autism and other issues, and they say that the vaccine is literally made in order to make people more sick so they can get more rich when it comes to health. And I don't know. It's not proven. We cannot prove it, really. And that's the problem. And I don't hate on the vaccine, vaccines per se, when it comes to certain illnesses and vaccines that you have to, like, my child is getting vaccinated every 2 months, and then he's going to get his 1-year vaccine. And I don't think there is anything wrong in that. Of course, complications can happen, and there are certain situations when things went badly and people blame the vaccine and they say the vaccine was the cause. It could have been, and things can go wrong in every choice you make in life. But yeah, overall, I think it helped more people than it damaged people.
And I understand that people are upset because being angry about COVID and everything that happened during that fever dream of a couple of years, it's understandable. Awful things happened. I mean, the lockdowns, the vaccines, the being separated from our families, kids being kept out of school, it was a travesty. But we have moved on from that. And also, we need to be real, because think about who we just elected. Think about who we spent the last couple of years propping up and encouraging and fighting for. Donald Trump, the man who first ushered in lockdowns, the man who encouraged us all to get the vaccine and is still saying how amazing it is. So we can support him and elect him and stand behind him 100%, knowing that he isn't perfect. He doesn't have a perfect track record.
No one does.
But a comedian that has changed her mind and is now bravely going on CNN to tell some mildly based jokes, that's not appropriate, because she didn't apologize.
How dare you?
It makes no sense. Like, so many conservatives that we follow, that we all love, were misled or wrong about COVID. My mother, my tinfoil hat, Alex Jones watching mother, who's literally building a bunker, I remember getting grounded in 2020 because I went to the beach with my friends in Los Angeles, and she was like, you're going to kill me. You are going to kill me. You need to go out into the garage. I don't want to see you. Like, literally was grounded because she thought that this was so serious. And it's okay that people were wrong and that things changed, because we genuinely, most people, had no idea what was going on and what was actually true, what was real. So that is one point that I want to make. But most importantly, isn't the goal to change people's minds and bring them over to the other side and show them the light? Like, that is what my goal is. But now people are seemingly upset when that happens, because these individuals who have come over weren't right all along. Like, we spent 10 years fighting tooth and nail, proving people wrong, fighting back against cancellations, dispelling allegations about us, about our political party, about things going on in the world, exposing corruption and lies day after day after day, trying to convince people. I thought that that was the goal. I actually look at Whitney Cummings as a huge win, like a bold win, a refreshing acknowledgement of how far we've come, how many people have bravely, dipped their toe onto the other side, who have admitted that they were wrong and that they've now seen the light. That is objectively a very good thing.
It's so hard to admit you were wrong, especially in front of all the people, in front of people who they're the ones who will pay your wages eventually, like, it's your work, it's your job, you're putting your face on it. Like, it is very difficult. This is really brave.
And I commend her, and we should all commend her, for having the bravery to admit when she was wrong and take a step to the other side. And again, a lot of people think that this is a grift. A lot of people think that it's not real, that she hasn't actually changed her mind. I completely disagree. Like, you can literally go back over the last couple of years, and you can see where and how her mind started to change. One of my good friends, Chris Williamson, he has a podcast, Modern Wisdom.
I still don't understand why people are like, if you are not 100% with us, you are against us. I'm sure I'm not going to belong anywhere. I have my own thoughts, my own opinions. I'm not right-wing. I'm not left-wing. I'm somewhere in between. I'm not a Jedi. I'm not a Sith. I am something in between. And I would always think with my own brain and come with the conclusions that I personally think fits my life the best. So yeah, I am still willing to listen to every story, every aspect, every perspective. And then I'm going to come up with my own
on his show
truth.
Twice in the last couple of years. And in those episodes, she goes in depth about how being a mother changed her. She became a mother to a son, which made her rethink culture and society, specifically thinking about gender roles and masculinity. Completely real.
Oh my God, that is actually so true. When I became a mother, things also like shifted for me, because everything that I would think about the future itself, I would always put it into the eyes of my child growing up and how his future would look like. And that's why like I started doing more and saying more and became more brave when it comes to that, because I'm literally in a way fighting for the rights of my child, and I am fighting to be able to be a part of his life and for my voice to matter in his life in the future as well.
Realizing that she has been lied to, and that was kind of a snowball effect into her changing her mind about everything else. She also did a podcast appearance more recently where she actually hit this political transformation head on. Just take a listen.
We are in a time where if you are on the left and you don't criticize your party, how much do you even care about your party? I don't think the left is as liberal as it used to. It's like the left became the party of censorship and my body, my choice, but you have to take this vaccine, and my body, my choice, pro-choice party, but you don't have a choice in your candidate.
So again, you are seeing her mind change. You are seeing the issues that forced her to rethink everything about her political stance and about her political parties.
True.
And I'm seeing all of these comments. I'm seeing people who are posting clips from this podcast and they're saying, Whitney, it's 4 years too late. It doesn't matter. You're not actually brave. I don't care when it happened. Like, truly, I don't. That's BS to me. I'm just happy.
So, yeah, basically, if you change your mind, if you don't change it too quickly, then it doesn't even matter.
That she's thinking critically about the situation and that she has gotten to a point where she feels brave enough to speak about it. Like, again, that is a net good, in my opinion. And so the point I'm making is that, yes, people can change. That is a good, normal, human thing that happens to all of us. And when you change, that means that you then come with a past. You come with choices that you've made and things that you believe that you possibly regret, that you would not believe or do now. That's fine. Like, genuinely, that is okay. That is actually very normal for every single human being. So why are we ripping somebody apart because they were 4 years too late? Like, again,
makes no
wasn't the goal
sense
to get people to this point. And so in my opinion, the correct and the good thing to do is to welcome people like Whitney Cummings and understand where they're coming from and have empathy for the fact that, yeah, maybe it took them longer than some other people, but they finally got here.
Yeah, like what you're doing is doing more harm than good, because then people who are 5 years too late will not do it because they are late. It will not matter, you know, and that's really harmful.
And that doesn't mean that you have to trust them implicitly and say, oh my God, here's your MAGA hat. Here you go. I'm going to follow you. And you're actually going to be our shining guide of a light for conservatism. No, like that is ridiculous. You can tread lightly and be cautious, but you also don't have to be nasty. You also don't have to be a troll online because they aren't perfect. Because I guarantee the people that are commenting these things about her are not perfect either. And more than anything, I think that we should be focusing on people's actions, which brings me to yet another example as I've been thinking about all this cancel culture stuff, which is Bud Light. And I can't believe that I'm touching this because I know that this is still such a hostile issue on right-wing social media, but I think we need to talk about it. We all remember their infamous ad with Dylan Mulvaney. I did so many videos about that. They gave Dylan a beer can with Dylan's face on it. It was a whole thing. We had their female millennial girl boss marketing exec saying that the Bud Light consumer base was fratty and out of touch, which really just meant that Bud Light was out of touch with who their audience was. But Bud Light has spent the last 2 years trying to make things right. They have literally been repenting for 2 years. Like, in my personal opinion, Bud Light has done more to get back on track and actually listen to their consumer base than, say, the companies that Robbie Starbuck has been going after. The companies that get a ominous message on LinkedIn from Robbie saying, we know what you're doing behind the scenes, we're going to expose you. They get freaked out. They put out an apology and a very well-curated PR statement rolling back everything they've been doing over the past couple of years, getting rid of the BLM initiatives, all of that BS. And while those things are obviously still net positives and they're good for society, those are actions that are being done out of fear and convenience, where Bud Light is literally putting in the work, whether you like it or not. Like, over the past couple of years, the ad agency that was involved in that Dylan Mulvaney beer can, they fired 13 people immediately after. Bud Light put 2 marketing execs who were involved in that on leave.
I mean, of course they did that because they were losing money. They had to do something to change it. I do agree with it, but I also disagree because at the end of the day, it is a company that is asking for you to invest your own hardworking money. So yeah, sometimes we think twice before doing something like that. Like, yeah, it's kind of shady. When it is a different thing and it's a person that has nothing to do with actually getting the money out of you, then I do understand that we can be a bit more lenient. But with this, I understand people's opinion
And ended up firing
and choice.
them. They gave an apology, albeit very squishy, didn't actually hit the issue head on, but they did make an apology. But more importantly, they drastically changed their marketing tactics. Like, they actually got back to who Bud Light's consumers are and what Bud Light stands for. Like, they made Shane Gillis the face of their company, which was a dream come true for him because he loves Bud Light. They tried to make manly advertisements again. Like, every single one of their ads at this point, I think, has men in flannels drinking beer and watching football. They did an exclusive partnership with Dana White and the UFC, which, oh my God, I'm sure you guys remember this, which royally pissed people off. I mean, conservatives thought that it was such a betrayal on Dana White's part to help Bud Light rebrand their image after this scandal. But Dana White, interestingly, had a completely different take. He was on a podcast talking about this, and he said, we had multiple bidders on the table. They were one of them. History has shown me, with relationships that I've had with other beer companies, I don't go crazy over the whole Patriot thing, but I consider myself a proud American. I'm happy to be an American. I love this country, and you are way more aligned with Anheuser-Busch than you are with other beer companies. I guarantee it. And then he went even further on Bussin' with the Boys, and he said this.
So if I have made the decision to go with Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light, there's a damn good fucking reason. I know the inner workings of the beer business better than any of the other these guys out, these fans and all this shit. And basically, they went after Anheuser-Busch for being woke and doing what they did. 65,000 Americans are employed by Anheuser-Busch, and a lot of them are vets.
Yeah.
That alone should be enough reason. Number 2, they spend almost $1 billion a year with U.S. farmers. That should be a fucking reason to do it. All the stuff that they do for first responders and vets and $44 million spent over the last however many years for their families. Every time there's a natural disaster in America, they shut down the plant and turn it into a bottled water facility. And they've done something crazy like 100 million
that's
bottles that
good,
they've sent
yeah.
out to Americans in need. Give me a fucking break.
I mean, by that point, Dana White was over it. He had been questioned about this so much. He had been criticized, literally ripped to shreds. So many conservatives that had aligned with him and were partnering with him were
That's not
breaking their
nice.
ties.
He was
It
just
literally
stating
like
facts.
the seas had parted. There was a divide over Bud Light because people couldn't decide whether they deserved to be redeemed or whether they should literally be boycotted and canceled into oblivion forever. And I know that there are people who disagree and they want.
To be honest, like, do you like drinking the beer? Yes or no? If you like drinking it, then drink it and buy it and consume it. If not, then whatever. Who cares? Who genuinely cares?
Want to see these companies who have made wrong turns, who have made bad decisions, they want to see them completely destroyed, canceled, ended, bankruptcy, never to be seen again. But I actually completely disagree. Like, I want to see companies change and be better and come back stronger and actually listen to their consumers. Like, I think about companies like Disney. Disney is an incredibly important company and has been for generations. It has changed thousands and thousands of lives. It has changed the direction of so many different industries. It would be a shame to see it be completely destroyed. But I do think it should be better. I think that they should actually listen to their audience and listen to their consumers who pay their bills. That.
And like, let's be honest, if they start listening and they start producing the same quality like the classics they used to produce, we're gonna consume. We definitely are gonna go back and consume. We're not gonna be like, oh, but you had that movie, that Snow White movie, that was nothing white about it. Like, there was no snow. There was no snow. It was in spring. No. You know, like, doesn't matter. If the next movie is good, if the next series is good, I'm gonna consume it. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna give it a chance, and if I like it, I'm gonna be a fan again. You know, I'm not going to be like, oh, but Acolyte was shit. And because of that, the next Star Wars project that you are going to be making, I'm not going to be checking out.
Doesn't
work
needs
like
to
that.
change. Like, I don't want to lose integral and historical and important parts of American society simply because I'm bitter and I've been burned. And the way to avoid this is to be self-aware, but it's also to be smarter. And in my opinion, the best way to become smarter is through Peterson Academy. And Peterson Academy is Jordan Peterson's online university that is open for enrollment right now. And if you are someone who loves lifelong
that
learning
transition
and wants
is
to
still
learn from the
perfect with these
brightest professors
sponsors.
in the world, if you are someone who has ever benefited from Dr. Peterson's lectures like I have, or his incredible guests that come on his show, then this platform is for you. And every month, Peterson Academy releases 4 new 8-hour university-level courses taught by world-renowned professors, and it's produced in a way to keep you engaged. These courses cover an amazing range of subjects, from statistics to philosophy to psychology to mathematics to science to English literature and so much more. And they're also complete with optional testing to further your understanding. There is also a built-in social community so that you can engage and interact with like-minded students as you're learning, and they are also rolling out new educational features as the platform grows. So if you are ready to challenge your intellect and expand your horizons and truly take control of your education, it is time to go to petersonacademy.com/Brett. It is $599 a year or $59 a month to access all 31 8-hour courses plus the 4 new courses that they are releasing every single month. Plus, you'll get that social community and a 7-day money-back guarantee. And the best part is that at that price, you do not have to take out a $60,000 student loan just to further your education. So again, make sure to check out petersonacademy.com/Brett today. Again, that's petersonacademy.com/Brett to join Peterson Academy today. And I know that this is a very hot take in conservative circles right now, but in light of all of this, this is why I am choosing to give Mark Zuckerberg and Meta a chance. I want to see them be better. I want to see them succeed. And I feel like we've literally been watching Mark Zuckerberg transform. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, again, like Whitney Cummings, he's grifting, he's opportunistic, he's just changing right now. Are you kidding me? Like, I have been watching Mark Zuckerberg beef himself up. He started doing martial arts and jujitsu. Like, when he started doing jujitsu, I was like, it's over for the libs. And guess what? It kind of was. Didn't he open a cattle ranch in Hawaii? He started talking about the importance of eating grass-fed beef. Like, somewhere along the line,
Like,
in
no
the last
shiz,
few
Sherlock.
years, something
Duh.
clicked for him in his life, and he began to change. I also personally think that his response to the Trump assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, I thought that that was very, very genuine. I didn't think that that was calculated or opportunistic at all. I think that he, like so many other Americans who had turned away from Trump, who didn't really like him, I think that they saw him in a completely different light. I mean, you watched a man who has literally faced lawfare, has faced slander and shame, has been kicked out of his circles, has lost basically his entire community, and now he is being physically attacked, he is being shot at. And you see him stand up and say, fight, 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 because he believes in this country. He doesn't have to do any of this. He could be at Mar-a-Lago golfing, is what we always say. He doesn't have to be president.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be
He's not
running
doing
again.
it for
He can
the
live a
money.
peaceful life, but he's choosing to show up against all odds because he believes in this country and he believes that it can be great. And I think, again, like a lot of Americans, that clicked for Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
If you don't know the clip that I'm talking about, just listen to what he said.
Although I don't agree with everything Trump does and Trump says, I still think this is true.
Immediately after the assassination attempt.
Yeah, I mean, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag.
That's
is
patriotism, brother.
One of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life.
Like, I think in that moment,
Yes,
he
it's
developed
such
an
a-
anguish.
yeah.
He was like, this is what a real man is. He's
That's
tough,
true.
he's strong. This
Yeah.
is what I want to be.
He-
I genuinely
Honestly, at that moment, he won. Because before that, I wasn't even interested in what's happening in America. After that, I was like, okay, yeah, let's see. Let's watch this.
think that it was inspiring, and the gears started turning at a much faster rate. I really think that that was the push he needed to draw his line in the sand and start to unravel everything that he and Meta had been doing for so many years, had been complicit in, which is why, in my opinion, he sent that now famous letter to Jim Jordan, where he basically admitted to all the censorship and said the White House was encouraging and forcing their hands. He said that in 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. Ultimately, it was our decision whether or not to take content down, and we own our decisions. This is really important. We're going to talk about that later. I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it. I also think that we made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today. Like I said to our teams at the time, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to pressure from any administration in either direction, and we are ready to push back if something like this happens again. And a lot of people read this letter and they said, oh, He thinks that Trump's going to get in office and that he is going to get reprimanded, that he's going to be thrown in jail. He's trying to cover his track. But that last line spoke volumes. We're ready to push back if something like this happens again. Any administration, either direction. I actually think that he was saying, Kamala, if you get elected, we're not doing this again. Because I know better now. I have more strength. I have more courage. I've seen somebody literally get shot at in the face and continue to stand up against absurdity and tyranny. And I now have the balls to stand up to you. So I think it works in both directions. And then, guys, to top all of this off, he made a video a couple months later, which I'm sure you've seen, announcing a complete overhaul
I don't think
of how
so.
Meta and how Facebook monitors content with a focus on free speech, which is you know, what it should have been the entire time.
Yeah, true.
But now they're going back to their roots, is what he said. Just watch.
The US has the strongest constitutional protections for free expression in the world. Europe has an ever-increasing number of laws institutionalizing censorship and making it difficult to build anything innovative there. The only way that we can push back on this global trend is with the support of the US government.
Why does it look like an AI talking?
And that's why it's been so difficult over the past 4 years when even the US government has pushed for censorship. By going after us and other American companies, it has emboldened other governments to go even further. But now we have the opportunity to restore free expression, and I am excited to take it.
He's saying this is a global trend that you are all complicit in. We're not doing this again. And now that we have Trump coming into office, it's going to be a lot easier for us to fight back against all of this. And within minutes of this video dropping on social media, it was announced that they were, rolling back fact checkers. My favorite part of that video was actually when he said that he was moving the content moderation team from an office in San Francisco to Texas, was hiring all new people, which was just such a F the libs moment. Like, okay, now we're taking this away from you, San Francisco tech bros. We're taking it to Texas where people are a lot more reasonable. That was just fantastic. He literally got rid of the DEI teams at Meta, removed tampons from the men's bathrooms, which was just insane that they were there in the first place. He put Dana White on the Meta board of directors, which is, in my opinion, the most important thing that he did. Because with that, he said, I'm taking this action, yes, but I'm putting somebody incredibly powerful, incredibly well-connected on this board to not only hold me accountable, but also hold the entire company accountable. And of course, and I know people are already going to be commenting about this, and I'm sure you guys are concerned, but with Mark Zuckerberg's track record, obviously we should be skeptical. Obviously, we should not jump in heart first, trusting this man implicitly, but you also shouldn't dismiss the work that he is doing that will make our lives better, that will hopefully change the course of the media landscape, much like Elon Musk and X has done. We should, in my opinion, hope for the best and hope that he is being genuine and be excited about the changes that he's making. And this man is also in an incredibly difficult situation right now. Like, everyone hates him. If you go online and you watch any videos about Mark Zuckerberg,
does he really care?
You have libs screaming, losing their minds, saying we're not going to be on Meta anymore. We're getting rid of Instagram, getting rid of Facebook, literally
but they're going to still use it.
Shreds. One of my favorite things to do over the last month has been to watch all of my lib friends on Facebook meltdown over this. So they're pissed off at him. Meanwhile, you have conservatives who think that he should be in jail, that nothing he does will ever rectify the situation that he created, that he does not deserve a second chance, that we should also leave Meta, leave Facebook. Like, he can please nobody at this moment. He is between a rock and a hard place. Like, there is no real winning for him here, because everybody's going to hate him regardless, and nobody is going to like him or trust him. So he is having to do what he believes is a moral right. He is having to make the harder decision, even though it might not be the easier decision. And I will always respect somebody for attempting to do that.
Yeah,
and I know that a lot of people believe that he should face.
But also keep in mind, he's not like a person that can lose a lot. If he decides and chooses to do something and it doesn't work out his way, it's not like he's going to use the billions he has. Well, I feel like once money doesn't become a problem or is not a problem anymore, then you start telling the truth and you stop caring what others think, and you start doing what you genuinely believe in and what you genuinely think. And that's when I really trust more those people, because I know that they don't care. They're not doing it for the money, but also they don't care about anything. Like, even if they get canceled, they can just go back and do whatever they want to do because they're so rich.
Repercussions for what he did over the last 10 years. Other people want him to apologize, which in my opinion he did in that letter.
He
to
can
Jim
be
Jordan,
bought,
and
basically.
Who knows if he will.
Because he can buy people. He cannot be bought. And this is the thing. When I see people who can be bought, I'm like, are they doing it for the money or do they really mean it?
Face repercussions. I don't know what Trump is going to do. It seems like they're kind of buddy-buddy, considering he was sitting right behind him at the inauguration. And other people are saying, this is one of the most wealthy individuals in America who runs an incredibly powerful company. You should have just pushed back against Biden and the Biden administration. And while that is obviously, yes, true, to me, the fact that this incredibly wealthy and powerful man was afraid of our U.S. government speaks more to their overreach and their corruption and their power than it does to his character. Because if they were willing to attack him and threaten him, imagine what they would have done to all of us. I mean, we saw what they did to people over the last 5 years. So it's understandable that he was apprehensive about not pushing back even more. And so that is why I genuinely am hoping for the best. I want him to be genuine. I want him to succeed because that will be better for all of us. And in my opinion, believing in somebody's ability to change is instrumental to the health, number one, to the health of all of us in our personal lives, but it's also instrumental to the health of the right and our movement. Because if we lose that, we become no better than the left. The left that we have all been canceled and ridiculed by. The left that we have called out for policing speech and being relentlessly tribal in the way that they eat their own and do not allow anybody to have any kind of dissenting opinion or make any kind of misstep whatsoever. The left that says you can't talk about X and you can't do Y. Is that really who we want to become? I go on social media, I go on X, and that's what I'm seeing. It's just a bunch of infighting.
It is so wrong.
Freaking out because people aren't perfect. Oh my God. Wow. And of course, there's a difference between that kind of toxicity and those cancellations, and simply being cautious and holding people accountable and hoping for the best. But with what I'm seeing online, with what people
Like, forgive but do not forget kind of thing. And I do understand that.
are saying and commenting, those lines are becoming increasingly blurry. We just elected Donald Trump to his second term, which is fantastic. I think most people are very, very excited and pumped about it. I think that the world feels a lot better since January 20th. But Donald Trump is a former Democrat, and a lot of people on the right have serious problems with him, whether that is because of his track record on COVID, the vaccines, the fact that he spent a lot of money, more than he should have in his first term, whether it was because he appointed rhinos, whether it was because of Jan 6. But people have gotten over a lot of that. They've pushed past that and they've said, yes, he might have made mistakes, but he's trying to be better. He is going to get this country back on track, and I'm choosing to believe in him. I mean, think about Tulsi, think about RFK Jr. These two former Democrats who still to this day do not share a lot of the traditional conservative values, but are doing very important work. And we've all gotten on board with them, and we are trusting them to work with Trump and help lead our country in a good direction. These people have all been welcomed with open arms. There will be growing pains for all of this. But we also cannot simply become what we just spent the last 10 years criticizing. Doing daily shows to bring people over to the other side, to show them that they were wrong, to expose the corruption, and then be angry and troll them because they weren't right all along. It literally is cognitive dissonance that makes no sense. We can't build a platform on free speech and then tell people what they can and can't speak about because of their track record or because of what they believed 4 years ago. Like, that's not morally or philosophically consistent. And it's also
Like, literally the reason you are doing this and you're going through this is to change people's mind, and not because you changed their mind because they had a different mindset before, it's not worth it. You don't accept them. That's weird.
also just not right. It's not a healthy path for us to go down. We are at an incredibly pivotal point in our culture right now, and we cannot get complacent or get messy or get morally inconsistent just because we won a singular election. That means we actually have to lean in more. We have to be better and make sure that we stay on a right path, because if not, we could literally lose all of this and self-implode because of the toxicity, because we got lazy and fell into the same traps that destroyed the left. We have to be self-aware, and we have to be better.
That's so true. This was so good. Let's check out some of the comments. Tell me why this got me more excited than any movie or TV show trailer I have seen in the past 5 years. Let's go. Already amazing. Oh, it's a 63-year-old husband and father of 2 grown daughters. Here seeing your online watching number clicking up. So glad you are back. You're irreplaceable, Brett. We have been waiting. She knew the ad read was coming, and you can see that I am back smirk as the Good Rancher ad comes in. 10 out of 10 best ad read on all of YouTube. Honestly, she's so good at it. She's so talented. I am not conservative and I am not liberal. You are one of the few political commentators I listen to. Keep up the great work. I love listening to you. And this is also me. I am neither. I don't agree 100% with one side. I always listen to both sides and then come up with my own truth and my own reality. And that's why I don't really 100% back everything everyone is saying. And yeah, I keep an open mind. And this was really awesome. Of course, we probably would have expected her to, we wished that she would address whatever was going on with the Daily Wire, but it's smart of her not to, because first, she can milk more views, and second of all, probably she cannot even do it because of the NDA that is still in effect. We might never know what happened. We might never come up or figure out the truth, but at the end of the day, does it even matter? Brett is back. She's awesome, and we're going to be following, and we're going to be watching and consuming. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you happy Brett Cooper is back? Because I am.